Now I've changed the diagram a little bit because I've taken the top off my container. We've made a vacuum on top and we have gas pressure below. We can only have gas pressure because the divider is there, and we have a container below allowing the gas to press upon something. Alright, so now I have removed the walls in the vacuum and made it an infinite vacuum like we are told exists all around us. We can still have gas pressure though, below and in the container. But what do you suppose would happen if I remove the divider again? Well, if I take the top off the container which holds the gas, it is instantly gone into the void.
Without gravity, yes, that would be the situation. You have to account for that force, and you're just not doing that. So you're misrepresenting the entire position here in order to make it seem ridiculous.
High pressure to low pressure. Second law of thermodynamics. Well, of course, our gas pressure is all gone. It has nothing to press against and will immediately hold.
Oh, yeah. So earlier he was like, you have to have like edges and containers and whatnot in order for pressure to happen. But that's actually not what pressure is. Pressure is caused by the existing atmosphere that rests on top of the atmosphere at wherever you want to like take a pressure reading at. So that pressure is the result of all the other atmosphere pushing down on it. That's why at sea level it's one atmosphere, because that is sort of like the base reading for everything. And then as you go higher than sea level, you have less atmosphere. And then if you go down into deep valleys or whatnot, you have more atmosphere. Also, the same thing can be measured and everything in the oceans, because as you go higher and higher, as you get closer to the surface of the ocean, there's very little pressure. But the deeper and deeper that you go, there's more and more pressure. It's just simple physics and shit.
Dynamics and dissipate into the endless vacuum above. Now let's see if we can test the only explanation globe defenders have. It gets them out of all jams, maybe this one too. Will gravity hold the gas to the Earth? Now, if this was the case, if gravity holds gases to the Earth, then it will be quite easy to test this. Now, I don't have a vacuum pump or a chamber to do this test, but many do. I've seen people with vacuum chambers on YouTube.
Wait, are you seriously suggesting that you think that if you create a vacuum, like in a rectangular box right there, you create a vacuum, you think that the gas inside the one side is going to stay in an ordered state of being separated from the vacuum if you're just at sea level on Earth or anywhere on Earth, literally anywhere on Earth? You think that is actually going to happen. You're setting up this experiment to fail. I get that you were explaining the second law of thermodynamics or whatever the fuck you were trying to explain over there. I get that you were trying to explain that, but now you're going to seriously suggest that here, sea level, the gas should stay separated from the vacuum? I'm sorry, but that's just a fucking idiot.
Ding.
Let's look at this example. Let's say that we are on a sphere Earth and that gravity is, as Newton said, an attraction between masses. So we are on Earth and gravity is pulling down. In the left side of the chamber, we have gas pressure or air. On the right side, we create a vacuum. Okay, now here's the problem for globe defenders and space religious zealots. If I lower the divider just a tiny bit, just bring it down a hair, what do you think will happen to the gas on the left? Is this what globers believe? That only the gas at the top would fill the vacuum? Or would the gas fill the entire available space? Well, if you believe gravity holds the air pressure down to Earth, even though there is an adjacent vacuum, then you have an untested and an unproven claim, because the gas will dissipate and fill the entire void. High pressure to low pressure, always. Now again.
So it will do that, but it does that because of gravity. So no, your whole summation there that the Earth's gravity would hold everything in that one side of it in an ordered state, or like down to where it wouldn't escape over there. Why the fuck are you so goddamn dumb? Like, this is not a good experiment. This does not actually deal with gravity. This is a magical form of fucking gravity that you have invented in your fucking mind. And it just doesn't exist, Jaren.
We'd still have gas pressure, but because we are in a container, giving the gas something to press upon. To show the impossibility of the consensus scientific belief, we again need to make the vacuum infinite. We again pull down our divider just an inch, and what do you think will happen? Well, of course, The high-pressure gas will exit the chamber into the adjacent vacuum and be gone forever.
Also, the Earth doesn't hold the air pressure. Like, he said earlier that the Earth's gravity holds the air pressure. No, it holds the air molecules to the face of the Earth, and around the Earth, but it does not hold the air pressure. Like, that's just a stupid fucking thing to say, you goddamn idiot.
No ifs, ands, or buts. Find someone with a vacuum chamber who can do this test at ground level where gravity is said to be the strongest, and you'll see if gravity will hold the gas to the Earth or if the gas will adhere to the second law and exit the vacuum. Now let me show a diagram that shows what we are taught. There's the Earth, and on it we have gas pressure, but there's no container. It is simply pressing down. But above that is the endless, expanding, empty, extremely low pressure of outer space without any divider and without a container. Well, that's simply insane and impossible.
This is actually not insane, because gravity would be holding on to the molecules and everything like that that are closest to it. So, I mean, this is actual reality that we can experience.
Of course, the gas pressure with no container and no divider will do what the second law of thermodynamics requires. It will go from high pressure to low. It will immediately leave Earth and fill the adjacent void, leaving no gas pressure, no air, nothing. Just the vacuum of space we are all taught exists all around us. So consensus science says we live on a sphere, a globe with this tiny sliver of gas pressure or atmosphere or air surrounding us. Yet this all exists next to an endless vacuum? But there is no container, no walls, no ceilings to press upon, and worse still, no divider.
So, if the flat Earth is true, and there is a firmament overhead that's keeping the atmosphere on the Earth, which that would be the antithesis of the globe model, is there's a firmament that is keeping like the atmosphere here. What do you think we wouldn't see? Well, we wouldn't see a pressure gradient as you climb an elevation. We definitely wouldn't see the rockets that we shoot off into space. If you watch the rocket, you can see the exhaust from the rockets starting to expand as it gets higher in the atmosphere. That is a visual indication of the air pressure in the upper atmosphere and how the air pressure causes it to expand. The gradient would be the hands down thing to debunk a firmament. We do not have an evenly pressurized system here on Earth with the gradient. The only way that could happen would be if we are a globe and if gravity is holding the atmosphere on. That's the only way that this could happen.
Well, it is simple to prove this is not reality, as with no divider, no barrier, you'd immediately lose all atmosphere on Earth to the vacuum of space.
And that's where you're a fucking idiot yet again.
Ding.
Because you're totally negating the whole idea of gravity. And I get that you don't think gravity's real, but you have to at least believe in dropity or whatever the fuck that particular concept is. If you're saying that no atmosphere would exist on a globe because gravity doesn't exist, then your dropity doesn't exist. Whatever force is out there causing things to drop, however you want to define it, would not exist with what you just said.
This doesn't even take into account that the Earth is said to be spinning at 1,000 miles per hour at the equator. Ever been on the gravitron? As it spins, things are flung outwards. The atmosphere, the air, the gas pressure would be flung outwards, and of course, we would never even get to that point because there is no divider. There is no barrier, and hence, the gas cannot even exist there to be flung outward anyway. It's long gone. The globe would have no air, no atmosphere, no gas pressure. No container, no gas pressure. No barrier, no gas pressure.
That's not true. I have more than proven in this particular live stream how you don't need a container and you don't need a barrier. And the reason why he thinks you don't need those things is because he totally leaves gravity out of the equation and because he doesn't think gravity is real.